Let's get more insight onto the fallout from Trump's comments on Gaza. Julia Roknifard joins us live now from Kuala Lumpur. She's a senior lecturer in international relations at Taylor's University in Malaysia. Since Trump made those comments, some White House officials have tried to kind of walk back a little bit or maybe soften some of Trump's languages, suggesting, for example, the displacement might only be temporary to allow for reconstruction. Julia, what do you make of this range of positions that it seems like Washington is trying to maintain at the same time? And what do you think the real Trumpian position is there?
What I think you are referring to, those dissenting voices, those voices dissenting with Donald Trump, are people that are more entrenched, more moderate, more entrenched within the foreign ministry and foreign policy circles, which are trying kind of balance what Trump said, the shocking statement that shocked everybody and called an uproar internationally, not only in Palestine or only in the Middle East, in the neighboring countries, which Trump is proposing for relocation of the Gazans, Egypt and Jordan in particular. So I think they are just trying to kind of balance this outstanding statement that people probably would not expect somebody else uttering, but when it comes from Donald Trump, which everybody is already used to Trump being so unpredictable, we take it as something more normal. So they are trying to look to make the general American foreign policy line look more moderate than it looks when Donald Trump speaks about it. What concerns Trump's position about it, I think there are a few components to this. One might be very banal lack of general knowledge, referring to those saying that even if there's any agreement signed with either on Palestine or even with Iran, it needs to be held at the very elementary level, like 1 or 2 pages for Donald Trump to actually understand. And also referring to those saying that probably Donald Trump doesn't even know where Gaza is located. But another part to it might be testing the waters of the international political elites, international leaders, and indeed it caused an uproar even among the European countries, saying that it shouldn't be done. Again, it's coming not only from the Middle East itself, not from Palestine itself, but from France or Spain, with an acknowledgement that things in Gaza are not in the condition for people to live in, but at the same time looking at this potential plan as nefarious. Another component to it might be potentially using it in the future negotiations on the permanent settlement on Palestine. So the intention, one might think, could be just to go a little bit too far, or maybe not a little, maybe go too far to compel Hamas in this case and the counterparty in negotiations to come to some kind of lasting solution. And finally, I think what's on Donald Trump's mind, of course, is to show its support, the U.S. support to Israel by suggesting this, which Donald Trump did very well during his first term by acknowledging the Israel sovereignty over the Golan Heights and also transferring, as you just noted in your report, the American embassy to Jerusalem.
All right, so lots going on there. Thanks for unpacking all of that, Julia. My second question is another piece of news that we've had coming out this morning. The Israeli defense minister has apparently ordered the army to come up with a plan to prepare for Gazans to leave the Strip. Of course, that's kind of all we're getting. We don't really know exactly what that means. What do you make of that, and how concerned do you think we should be in light of everything you've just been saying?
I think we should definitely be concerned, because that would seem like an action undermining the truce, the ceasefire that was just established, which is quite temporary, quite fragile at the moment. And this is a defense minister, Israel Katz, saying it, but at the same time, I saw the news reports, they underline that it's a voluntary resettlement of Gazans. I don't know who imagines that the Gazans would decide to leave voluntarily after what they've been through, and now, again, with difficulty returning to their destroyed homes. Who would imagine that they would actually voluntarily decide to leave? I think a lot here will depend on how the Arab nations in particular are going to behave. First of all, Jordan and Egypt, who already rejected the very possibility of resettlement. But also other players in the region, including maybe even starting from Saudi Arabia, but the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman also already rejected the possibility of resettlement of Gazans. So at least there is something to hope for. And I think those states, as a part of the so-called global south, they could also leverage on not only in the resources that they have in their possession, but also on the unity that they could forge around this cause, which they already demonstrated on the premises of other frameworks, of other groupings, like BRICS, for example, but also the unity which would be forged around this particular Palestinian cause. And I also think that's quite preposterous what Defense Minister Katz was saying, that those countries, those European countries, which were condemning the Israeli operation in Gaza, must accept Gazans on their land, otherwise in their countries, otherwise they would be seen as hypocritical. But I think that's a misrepresentation of the whole situation, because it denies the very possibility of the two-state solution. And putting it in this way, like Minister Katz did, it shows the perception of Palestinians, Gazans in particular, as just a minority in the Israeli land, basically, not people who are supposed to have their own state. And mind you, this is the policy not only of those European countries which objected the Israeli operation in Gaza, but also the policy of the United States itself, which became quite hollow with the time, but nevertheless, it's an official policy for the two-state solution.
Concerning language, concerning times. Julia Roknifard from Kuala Lumpur, thank you so much.